because this has been a serious fight for this subgenre,
yes.
right?
Yes.
But what does it mean to you as a man of God to have been fighting for something that people, oh yeah, it's great, but now are finally just taking seriously?
Yes, yes.
And congrats.
Thank you so much. I'll try to make this brief. It's very encouraging. I am here because somebody gave me a Christian hip hop CD. Almost 18, 19 years ago. And that Christian hip hop CD. Now, let me just be clear. I was very much aware. My mom has been a woman of faith as long as I have known she's existed, okay? Which was around 4 or 5, right? Where I was like conscious of what was happening. She's always listened to gospel, always been involved in listening to contemporary music. I remember hearing Shout to the Lord. But it wasn't until I heard someone that looked like me from my culture rapping about Jesus that all the stuff that I had been hearing my entire life finally clicked. All the services that I went to, all the concerts. I remember my mom taking me to see prophets and preachers. It never made sense until I heard it in the language of hip hop. And God saved me. Now, I started traveling, and I found out that there was a movement, that I got to be one of the small players in the movement. But it always was a challenge to me. I realized that hip hop, statistically, grosses the most revenue of any other genre in the world. It has been argued to be the most impactful. When it comes to storytelling, culture shifting, hip hop has held the #1 spot. Streaming, a fourth of the market is captured by one genre, hip hop. And I've been convicted that the devil knows how powerful a tool hip hop is, and he loves to invest in it. He loves to use it. He loves to see it move forward. But it has felt like to me for years that the church has been a little slower in recognizing that you have this powerful tool in your hands. You're talking about the massive deconversion and rejection of Christianity in Gen Z. We're talking about it. We're reading about it. What are they listening to? Hip hop. In contrast, you think about what's happening in Ohio State right now. These movements of many revivals that break out. Oftentimes they're with people who are young, and they are very much listening, of course, to Maverick City, but they're also listening to Lecrae and Harvey and Forrest Frank. These things fuel and build your faith. It doesn't just give you a good time. I know a lot of people in this space know me because of Church Clap, which I'm grateful for that song. It's the only gold record I have, my first and last gold record. But I went to Bible college because of a Christian rap song. I married the love of my life at 22 years old because of a Christian rap song. I gave myself to the local church because of Christian hip hop. So I will always be a massive advocate. And as this new generation is arising, I just implore, what did Paul say? I admonish, I appeal to you by the mercies of God. Please support these brothers and sisters that the kingdom might be realized in an emerging generation.
Yeah, so what does he?
Thank you for the question.
Hey, Kibi, I want to jump on that a little bit.
Yep.
You say, what is the barrier? I mean, what's holding that back?
Yeah. This is an industry. Okay? So industries, they are absolutely committed to their principles. For a Christian industry, we are principally trying to introduce people to Jesus. But we all got bills too. As Christian hip hop has stood for many years, it doesn't have radio stations. It doesn't have a CCLI that is specifically for a kind of entity. Those things we appreciate. We don't have what we would call the institutions that also turn this counterculture, organic movement into something that can be corporate, where folks can feed their families off of it. People have jobs all the way down the line, from road managers, festival owners. That's been a big barrier. It doesn't generate the money as Christian hip hop. Now, something interesting is happening in mainstream right now. Mainstream, for perhaps the first time ever, is taking Christian hip hop serious. The biggest rapper in the world, or you could, him and Drake go back and forth, but Kendrick Lamar, but you could easily say he's the most respected rapper in the world right now. He's performing the Super Bowl next week. 2 weeks ago, he puts this song out randomly. And in the end of the song, he says, I wonder what Lecrae would do. I wonder what D1 would do. Impressed by their lives. And then there's these institutions within mainstream hip hop, like On the Radar, that are bringing in all these young Christian rappers, and they are bold. Anike, who was just on stage, her On the Radar, she rapped it with a Bible in her hand. Okay? And this is beginning to break things down. Let me say this last thing. Christian hip hop as a movement has taken it upon itself to begin to build things that are generating income. So now our music is, but now there are festivals that exist. Holy Smoke, the guys that I had on stage with me, Indie Tribe, they have a festival right here in Nashville. I beg you, brothers and sisters, know about that festival. Support that festival. I go. I give to it. My time, my money. Servos Fest in Houston. 5,000 young people. Gen Z, the people that don't want Jesus, allegedly, are at these festivals. Glow Fest with Miles Minnick out in California. The barriers that we don't have, the kind of infrastructure, but as it is emerging for the sake of an emerging generation, please support it, invest in it, and pray for it that God might use it.
Jay's last question.
Dang, I'm sorry. I talk so much.
Jay from Today's Christian Entertainment. First off, I'm from Lakeland, Florida.
Okay.
You represent
FLA.
Yes, sir.
Straight up.
I did a ride-along with you back when Tomorrow We Live came out.
Yes.
And I've loved you since then, but I was able to introduce my kids, because they're always listening to hip-hop, but not the good kind.
Right.
Like, you want to listen to hip-hop? Here it is. Got one of your records out, and I tell you what, so impactful. I mean, what is it like being a kid coming out of St. Petersburg, being able to say that you are influencing this next generation of young kids?
First of all, God bless you, bro. I remember that ride along. That was dope. I wish I could do something like that again. It's the feelings that I have about my influence on people are largely felt in the context of the impact that I have on my children. Okay, I have 2 boys and a little girl. Very, very confident in what I'm doing with my boys. Still trying to figure out my 4-year-old daughter. She is certainly in control, and the only child that I have who I disciplined one time, and then I apologized to her. But as I see them listen to the music before. I don't know if we're going to get this sample cleared, but the Holy Forever song, we remade that song into a hip-hop jam. And my son heard it in the car. And he's been begging me all week, Daddy, when are you going to be done with the song? I want to hear it. I want to hear it. And then I play the song for him. And then we talk about it afterwards. That is a sample size or a microcosm of what I think is happening around the world. And when I see that, it fuels what I'm trying to do. It encourages me when I feel discouraged. That, and also, I am Tampa for life. I mean, that's where all right, brother, I see you. God bless all one of you out there. But I've been serving in the city for a long time. And there is probably about 30 or 40 people that I have been doing life with for the last 13 years. And I've discipled many of them, and I've watched them as they've grown, and I've seen the stages of life, all of the ways in which I get to see in real time the gospel I'm rapping about impact the people I know. It affirms and confirms that I'm where I'm supposed to be, and it drives me to do more.